City Energy FC coming in to take on the Tulsa Roughnecks. 10 games apiece, 6 points apiece. Someone trying to find their way up out of the bottom of the table in the Western Conference. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Jeremy Poplin, joined by Dave Saunders. We will have the action for you this evening, and thank you to those of you watching in on ESPN+. Well, there are a lot of storylines heading into tonight's Black Gold Derby, the second leg, so to speak. The first leg won in the very first match of the season by Oklahoma City. It was the early goal, 1-0 victory in the 6th minute was when that goal came. And Oklahoma City, since that point, struggled extremely to find the back of the net and to get other wins. As a matter of fact, just until last week, 8 current matches in a row in which they suffered a defeat. Well, that all changed last week with a 1-0 win against Colorado Springs. And Dave Saunders for the Tulsa side still looking for that elusive first victory of the season. They go on the road after the disappointing loss to FC Wichita in the Open Cup and come away with San Antonio with a 1-1 draw. This team has found a way to draw. They have to find a way to win now.
You're absolutely right. Great result down at San Antonio, 1-1. They'll take that all day. Difficult place to go, but they are so desperate, Coach Fodrell and his players, for this first win. They've had some good draws, as we've said, but to put 3 points on the board and against your local rivals, that's what they want to do tonight.
Coach Vaught told me earlier in the week that he felt like that the chemistry and also the mentality of the team was in good spirits after their 1-1 draw, after that tough loss in the Open Cup. To come out of there and Joaquin Rivas score goal number 5 on the season. He's the current leader with 5 for the Roughnecks on the season so far, and he's really kind of come into his own. But bottom line is the Roughnecks have to find someone else that has that same level of consistency as far as scoring goals.
Yeah, you're right. Rivas is a very, very big player. You and I said he had a slow start to the season, but now he's banged in 5 goals in a bit of a free roll up there in behind the likes of John Perez. We'd love John Perez from the Roughnecks' point of view to be the number 9, to be the goal scorer. There's been a few others chipping in with a goal here and there, the likes of Gamble, you know, but yeah, you're right. They need a consistent goal scorer to help out Rivas.
Well, and you brought up John Perez, and the feeling is that John Perez might finally be 100% healthy for the first time in quite some time this season. We saw him explode for 2 goals in a brace during the Open Cup match. That's one positive for the Roughnecks heading into tonight's match. And another positive, Dave Saunders, is the fact that we're finally starting to see more loans from some of the MLS sides. You know, last year we were rather fortunate with having almost 2 permanent loans. You're down from the Chicago Fire the entire season. This will be the 3rd or 4th time now that we've seen Jesus Ferreira in the lineup for the Roughnecks, or at least he's coming off the bench tonight. And also for the 2nd time as well, we get a chance to see Brandon Cervania, who is another homegrown signee from FC Dallas. So Wyatt Omsberg comes back from Minnesota United. The Roughnecks have at least been bolstered by some of the loans from the MLS side.
They certainly are. It's a similar situation with OKC Energy. They're shuffling the pack. Coach Fodrell's shuffling the pack a little bit, isn't he? Trying to find the best formation, the best players. I'm excited to see these loan players. We know from last season, Bob, how important the likes of Calistri and, and the like were, Corrales, with that lovely link up we've got with Chicago Fire. So it's going to be interesting to see how these players bed in, and it could be a big night for them as well. You know,
Steve Cook, the head coach for the Oklahoma City Energy FC, has shuffled the lineup quite a bit in the last couple of weeks, and they just bolstered their lineup with the midfielder Khalif Al Hassan, the native of Guyana, who comes in with 93 games under his belt for the Portland Timbers. Also spent some time with Minnesota United as well. They're starting to add those pieces to the puzzle, and you feel like that maybe they've turned a corner a bit for them. And I know it was a rough stretch, but you know, a 1-0 loss there to Swope, a tough one against Phoenix Rising, but to get that victory against Colorado Springs, I think that's what Steve Cook obviously is looking for, is more wins, but I think he's looking for that elusive perfect lineup.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And that goal, 81st minute, you and I were talking about off air, against Colorado, was such an important goal, and you could see the relief in the stadium when it was headed home. So, those moments make a season. I think you're right. I think they've turned a bit of a corner, and I think from the Roughnecks' point of view, that's the kind of thing they need. Can they turn a corner and get this season really ignited tonight with a good, convincing win against their local rivals?
Well, it is the local derby here for Oklahoma, with the Energy having taken game number 1. The Roughnecks now trying to keep that wrench here in Tulsa. That's what they play for here in the Black Gold Derby. Oklahoma City with a chance to take it with the second leg of the Derby coming up. We still got one more game to play later on this summer here in Tulsa, but Dave, it doesn't get any better than a local Derby, does it?
It's a good rivalry right from the beginning of this franchise. You know, it's always been the rivalry with OKC, and they relish it as much as the Roughnecks do, and it should be a great, great night. Hope for a great game of soccer tonight.
The walkouts are happening. Teams are getting set to line up, and we are getting set for action here tonight from 1-0 Field. It's a beautiful night here in Tulsa. It's been extremely hot the entire afternoon. Looking for temperatures to settle in there in about the 70s by the time we get into the second half. But it will be a hot one here to start, but we wouldn't have anything less happen here in the state of Oklahoma during the summer months. All right, we'll take a timeout. And when we come back, we'll be set for the kickoff live from downtown Tulsa at 1-0 Field. I'm Jeremy Poplin. That's Dave Saunders. Don't go anywhere because Roughneck Soccer is coming up next.
For 100 years, Tulsa has trusted Hillcrest Medical Center. Decades of innovation, inspiration, and passion have positioned Hillcrest as a premier hospital in Tulsa. It takes more than just medicine to save a life. It takes courage, patience, and determination. Thank you for a century of trust and the privilege to serve you. Hillcrest Medical Center, serving Oklahoma for 100 years.
Osage Casino Hotel is your premier venue for total entertainment. Whether it's date night, game night, guys night, or ladies night out, it's always your night. Make it unforgettable at Osage Casino Hotel in Skytook and Ponca City.
PSO Power Hours customers talk about their new thermostat.
The fact that you get a free thermostat, it's quite a perk.
Makes your house a smart home because of the Wi-Fi thermostat.
Can you get the app on my phone and I can adjust the thermostat as I need it?
Just pull out the phone, you can turn it to what you want it to, and whenever you walk in, the house is nice and cozy.
Right,
and,
exactly.
I mean, I love that feature.
See your program options and sign up today at psoklahoma.com/powerhours.
Another ding, another scratch. It'll just be another chapter in the story.
Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road.
Get a total value of over $10,700 on this Silverado All-Star when you finance with GM Financial. Chevy drives Oklahoma. Find new roads.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to tulsarefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. tulsarefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do.
All right, welcome back to Tulsa as we get set for kickoff tonight with the Roughnecks and the Oklahoma City Energy FC. They say, Dave Saunders, that Bedlam is the biggest rivalry in our state between Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. But I think these two teams have proven that they might have an argument in that conversation tonight as we get set for the Black and Gold Derby.
Yeah, it's a big rivalry, isn't it? The Bedlam is pretty big. This one's up there, Pop, isn't it? I mean, since I've been here in Oklahoma, it's one of the first things you hear about is this rivalry between the two cities. And here we are in the black gold shirts for the Roughnecks against the whites from down the turnpike, and we'll see who comes out on top. Will the wrench stay in Tulsa, or will it go back down with the Energy? We are just about to find out.
The aforementioned wrench in the Black Gold Derby could be on its way back down the turnpike this evening if Oklahoma City finds a way to win here tonight. The Roughnecks are in possession of the wrench after the victory last season in the series. There's Oily getting set, trying to plant the flag. Ground's a little bit harder than what Oily thought that it was, and we are almost set to go. As you see the Roughnecks, Dave Saunders mentioned in the black gold kits as well from New Balance. New Balance is the official sportswear provider for the Tulsa Roughnecks. You can check out the latest New Balance gear inside the team store here at One Oak and online. There's Fabian Serta, the league leaders in saves with 37 coming into tonight's. Saw a shot there of the referee, Elvis Omsmanovich. And the energy breaking their huddle, and we are almost set and ready to go.
It's going to be an interesting lineup. You know me and my formations. The Roughnecks pretty much playing a 3-3-3-1, which is quite an unusual formation. Will it work against what we think will be a kind of a 4-3-3? It could be a 4-5-1 from Oklahoma City Energy with Valesky up front on his own, but they quickly get the likes of Jonathan Brown and Alex Dixon in on the left and right hand wings respectively. So it's going to be an interesting matchup, this one, and we're just about ready for the start.
There's a look at Valesky, who comes in from St. Louis and has, I don't know if you want to say a disappointment, but only one goal for a man that at one time led the Rochester Rhinos, part of that 2015 championship group, by the way, from the Rhinos, but led them in goals for 2 straight seasons. And there is Rasmussen, who is standing over the ball in the center circle, and we are almost set tonight for the matchup. Thank you to those of you watching in, not only on ESPN Plus, but Cox Your View Oklahoma. Settle in and welcome to downtown Tulsa. Temperature kickoff 91 degrees.
Yeah, it's definitely warm, as you said, by the end of the game, down in the 70s, which would be much more comfortable for the players. But it's going to be hot, and a hot tempo, we hope, from the start.
Our referee is set, and the whistle is there, and this will be an early attempt, searching ball forward that trickles out over the byline. Let's run down the assistant referees for you. Diego Blas, assistant referee Shane Kennard, and the fourth tonight is Daniel Ortega. As the Roughnecks will now start to build from the back with Claudio Munoz and Wyatt Omsberg, who is on loan from Minnesota United. Roughnecks with the giveaway right on the edge of the middle third and offensive third, and quickly they find a gentleman that has created some problems for the Roughnecks. It's Dixon, searching ball forward, and a goal early on. Oklahoma City has scored in the first minute, and it's Valesky with goal number 2 on the season. And before you can even blink, the Energy have come into Tulsa and lit up the scoreboard first.
Well, we said it's a very hot night temperature-wise, and that is a hot goal from the visitors. And I can tell you from the defensive point of view from the Roughnecks, there was a really big gap there at left back. I think Josh Morton possibly caught up the field a little bit as the, you know, if you don't keep possession of the football and you lose it, you know, there are gaps that appear, and that is a quality finish from Valesky. We were just saying he hasn't scored many. I think it's only his second league goal. And a quality finish, and poor old Fabian Serta has not touched the football yet. 1-0 to the Energy.
April 21st was the last time that Christian Valesky has scored, and he comes into tonight with goal number 2 on the season.
Yeah, it was a quality finish as well. Really looked as though he'd been pushed wide, but able to wrap his foot around the ball, and it ended up in the back of the net. Fabian Serta beaten.
And all of that is set by Alex Dixon, who immediately turned, faced, and went forward. Has at times shown tremendous speed, and he plays to the outside for Richard Dixon. Header there at midfield, knocked down. It's Munoz out wide to Jusinho, who both of us have been impressed with so far here through the early portion of the season.
Yeah, Jairzinho wearing 5, and it's interesting tonight. We have been impressed with him, and he's playing as a kind of a right back pushing on. It looks to me like it is a flat back 4 with Morton pushing on the left-hand side. We'll see how that works out, because they have been exposed a couple of times in the first, couple of minutes.
Jairzinho's pass, trying to split the defenders there, looking for Joaquin Rivas, unable to do so. This is a long ball with Valesky looking to run onto it. Tries to shoulder, Olmsberg does, and that will be a foul against Valesky. Olmsberg is a rather large lad himself, and that's something that David Vaudreuil has said that impressed him about having Wyatt come down from Minnesota United, is the size of the young man, as we'll see here on the replay. Just a little shoulder there that was kind of in the back because Wyatt was turned there to the opposite side, and he went down and sold that. The 6'4", primarily center back, was the 15th selection in this year's MLS Super Draft, 2-time Ivy League Defender of the Year.
Yeah, it's going to be a good battle. Valesky against the likes of Olmsberg and Munoz. We'll see how that pans out, but obviously it's 1-up to the striker at the moment.
Josh Morton, the rookie from Cal, in the starting 11 here this evening.
Levin and Mirkovic are playing the 2 deep central midfield roles, so it's more or less a 4-2-3-1 from the Roughnecks.
It's the 19th goal of the season given up by Serta. Here's Dixon. Plays it off of Munoz. As Dixon now in the channel. Plays that ball across. Slow trickle right at the penalty spot. And the Roughnecks now with Joaquin Rivas. Settled there in the center of the pitch. Turned and played out wide. First opportunity that we've seen Cervania have a touch here this evening. Here he is one more time.
Yeah, he looks good on the ball, Cervania. He's got good balance, and I like the way he's playing there in the number 10 role.
Cervania just got back recently at the early portion of the year with Tab Ramos in the under-20s, the U.S. national team. Several members of FC Dallas Academy, who, by the way, have the affiliation with the Oklahoma City Energy. Several members of that team were called into camp there for the under-20s. By the way, Cervania, as we see Morton throw in, was a part of that national championship side, the under-16s for FC Dallas Academy that Jesus Ferrara played with.
Slightly late challenge there. But game settling down a little bit. And you'd say, you know, slight upper hand to the man in white here. With that early goal, what was it, a minute pop, was it, on the clock? And, you know, Valesky with a fantastic finish. So the Roughnecks have to come from behind. But they made a pretty stern stuff this season. They've come back and they've got plenty of draws away from home. But they need to, really, a lot of people are saying they need to really win this game, you know, really to ignite this season. So long way to go. That's one of the good things, I guess, if there is ever a good thing about conceding a goal. It's conceded very early, plenty of time.
Villegas sends this one forward. Jairzinho has that one. Little flick back to Serta. Olmsberg looking for Jonathan Levin, who's now almost, Dave Saunders, found a home here, not just with the Roughnecks in general, but in the position that he's in. We've seen him kind of slotted in that spot now the last several games, and David Vaudreuil has said that it's been a tad bit of an adjustment for him early on, but I feel like for an adjustment, he's played quite well.
I like him. I think he's a big player. I think it was noticeable that when he came in, after 3 or 4 games of the season when the Roughnecks hadn't got any points on the board, he's made a big difference to me. He's the steal in there with Mirkovic in the central midfield. I think he's been played, I think he's playing in his favourite position tonight, which is one of the sitting midfield players alongside Mirkovic. He's not playing on his own there, so I like that. I think that's his best position.
Alex Dixon with a touch there to Rasmussen. Sent forward looking for Valesky. Harassed from behind there is Valesky as Munoz was draped all over the back of him up towards midfield. Valesky on the goal here in the first minute. As the Energy were able to strike first. Looping throw in there from Dixon. The Jamaican spent some time with St. Louis here in USL.
Yeah, there's a few St. Louis connections tonight.
Absolutely.
Mirkovic played there, didn't he?
Also played at West Florida University. Morton will send this one forward. Perez with the touch to Rivas. Rivas tried to head it back.
And you mentioned two names there, John Perez and Rivas. They've hardly had a touch of the football so far in this first 8 or 9 minutes. They really, here's Rivas now on the ball, and that's what the Roughnecks want him on the ball.
It's another gentleman in Mirkovic that hadn't had that many touches yet, and here he is with second or third attempt. 11 now. Will spin back the opposite direction. Slow dribble through the center circle. Turns, looks. Has help to the outside in Jacinho. Long ball from Mirkovic, settled there from Morton. Has help, left foot across. That one will sail over the top of the bar and result in a goal kick now coming up for OKC.
Yeah, Vukovic there just too strong with that one, but a good build-up. They swung it from right to left. If you look at the Energy, when they haven't got the ball, they're very organised. They go into a 4-1-4-1, and it's very, very organised and hard to break down.
See the goalkeeper there, Van Okel. Real Salt Lake organization. Also with the Real Monarchs. FC Edmonton in his past as well. He is 2-8-0 in starts this season. Played his college ball at Rutgers. It's a good look to the outside. Vukovic has some space. Left-footed ball, line drive. Defender came back to head that clear of the box, and now a foul.
Well, first of all, before the foul, I think it's going to be a yellow card for Mirkovic there, who's slightly late with his foot up, I think. But great touch from Mirkovic there, and a wonderful cross from the trusty left boot of Vukovic. Just a moments earlier, he'd had one of those, when he overhit it. That one was a great ball in, but there was nobody on the end of it. But good signs for the Roughnecks, and then Mirkovic just slightly late, picks up the yellow card.
See here on the replay, Mirkovic coming in with a challenge.
Yeah, a little bit unlucky. I mean, again, those of us of a certain age, that would have been a great tackle, applauded by everybody around. Everybody would have got up and got on with it. But that one in today's game, you commit. As soon as you go to ground in today's game, you can be in trouble. I mean, he played the ball, but it's the follow-through, it's the contact that the referees these days don't like. So I get how the referee's given him a yellow card there.
Tulsa came into tonight number 4 in USL with 25 yellows. Las Vegas, the clear leader in the pack with 33. Little press here from OKC. Serta. Mirkovic had to come back in a help position. Have to be careful there. And a foul from behind.
Yeah, Chavez there just leaning on Mirkovic there. Clear foul for the referee to give.
Chavez came over from the Tampa Bay Rowdies. He's actually a native of Oklahoma City. Played the last 3 seasons there in Tampa, 54 matches with the Rowdies. Former member of the University of Tulsa is Justin. drafted by the Fire in the supplemental draft in 2012.
And he is, you know, he holds things together there in that defensive midfield role. It's an interesting matchup because Travis tends to play that himself in there, whereas the Roughnecks have Levin and Mirkovic. So always interested in how that matches up in the middle.
Van Oekel, as you can see there, on the service forward, will have to deal with a rather significant amount of sun here in the early going. As you can see there on your screen, the energy just entering that part of the pitch that does have some shade on it, but it is sun splashed at the far end. That ball hit directly at Serta, bounces up in the air, quickly had to get up and slap it away with one hand as Rasmussen was, actually that is Brown that was coming in, and give Serta credit because all types of contact and doing anything that he could to just get one piece of it, Dave Saunders.
Yeah, he did well then, did the goalkeeper. That wasn't easy at all, and he didn't flap. He got up and he pushed it away. There was a bit of a clash there between Fabian Serta and Jonathan Brown, but they're both okay, and on we go. But keeper did pretty well there.
Yeah, Brown was attempting to try to head that in over the top of Serta, but I apologize because it was Rasmussen who hit that ball that looked like it, a bit of a dip on it right as it came in the vicinity of Fabian Serta.
It's been a day for dip on the ball and goalkeepers, hasn't it, my friend?
Well, that was a rough one. If you're a Liverpool fan, those months of goals in Champions League and in the Premiership, to see the Champions League final to end the way that it did, and just maybe one of the more bizarre scenarios that I've seen in quite some time.
Just shows you this game. I've followed it for years and years and years, and so have you. Something different happens. It's just one of those crazy games today, wasn't it? And you know, if you're a Liverpool fan, it's rough.
Yeah, that might be one where I wake up in the middle of the night with a few nightmares.
Well, and you feel for the goalkeeper, of course, Karius. I mean, he's got to pick himself up from that. And somebody, a wise old bird in the name of Neville Southall, who a lot of people remember from his Everton days, fantastic goalkeeper, Welshman. He said, you know, you feel sorry for the lad, he said, but how he responds. And that's what it's like, isn't it? In the professional game, how do you respond when something has gone wrong? How do you pick yourself up from this? And obviously it's very, very raw, very early days, but everybody, you know, feels for the lad, and we wish him well in the future. But
how about that long ball from Serta there? Finds Perez. Perez with the back heel. It's there, and a goal! Joaquin Rivas! Fabian Serta with the long ball over the top. John Perez there with the back heel.
Well, Rivas can't stop scoring, can he? But that, he will thank his friend John Perez. That is a fantastic assist. We'll see this on the replay. The back heel into the path of Rivas, and with his left foot, he just side foots it home. A fantastic goal for him, his 6th of the season. Here's the long ball from Serta, we'll see. And look at this, Perez here gets on this ball here, and now look at this for an assist. If you are Joaquin Rivas, look at that, and coolly slots it home left foot. Fantastic goal from the Roughnecks, 1-1.
Incredible, and credit Fabian Serta for that ball over the top. And how about Perez there with just the feeling at that point with the back heel between the two defenders, and Joaquin Rivas finishes it off for goal number 6 on the season.
That's one of those things you can't teach at that assist. You know, it's just something you feel in the moment. You use the right words. And John Perez there just hands it on a plate to his teammate and says, there you are, slot that one home.
The Rivas tear continues.
Well, we were saying in the pre-match show, weren't we, how important are Rivas' goals here. 6 on the season now. So vital for the Roughnecks, and he seems to crop up in those different positions all over that line in behind John Perez.
So the Roughnecks respond after facing adversity here in the opening minute. and have now equalized. The goal from Joaquin Rivas.
Do you know, if there's something about the Roughnecks this season you can say, you know, one of the things that you can say in a positive fashion is they do find a way to equal the game up, don't they? I know they've been on the end of a couple of fives, we all know that, and they haven't won a game this season, but they do find a way to respond, and now there's another chance here to go in the lead.
Perez with the brace during the Open Cup match against FC Wichita. And as we mentioned in pregame, David Vaudreuil finally feeling like John Perez may be 100% healthy. Easily taken out of the air there by Van Oekel. And you know, initially Perez was signed to be their number 9.
Yeah, just gone down there, got a bit of a hit from behind, but he certainly held up, chased the long ball forward, didn't he, and held it up, and then, as we say, the assist was just sublime. It was fantastic. Of course, Perez would love a goal himself, wouldn't he?
Van Oekel sends this one out of play to the approval of David Vaudreuil there on the sidelines.
Yeah, good catch from his assistant, Lloyd Kinnear there. It's a good game. It's evenly matched at 1-1. Both sides with chances on goal. Well, really, you'd say probably they both scored from their only real chance on goal. I mean, Fabian Surtees had to make a save, but finely balanced game.
Select is the official soccer ball of the USL. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit selectsportamerica.com. Receive free shipping on orders over $50. And it was announced earlier this week, Dave Saunders, that the league introduced the Select Super Brilliant as the official ball for the 2019 season.
Yeah, the league moves forward from strength to strength. Here's Perez's offside, though.
Select is the official ball supplier for the Bundesliga as well. Real quick, I do want to say, even in my disappointment with the Liverpool result today, congratulations to Real Madrid, maybe one of the more dynamic clubs that we've seen in quite some time, historic. You know, matching those Bayern teams in the 70s to win 3 consecutive Champions Leagues. It's one of those things you just wonder, Dave, if you'll ever see again.
Well, you're absolutely right, and fair play to you, because I know that hurt you today, and you know, it was it's a wonderful feat from Real Madrid, and they've done it again this year, 3 in a row, and fantastic for them. But here we are. Perez now going towards goal.
Perez is going to try to attack. A little bit of a diagonal run. Now we'll look for help in the middle. Has it. It's Mirkovic. Rivas. Rivas now with a slow trot. Vukovic stepped over. Look at the patience by the Roughnecks here. Unlucky there. Jairzinho was expecting something different. Oklahoma City will now play forward. Oleski, the goal scorer, now shoved down from behind.
I like the way that Vukovic in that last attack just moved inside Pop, and it leaves Josh Morton with that wing play up from left back. That's good from those two. Good understanding.
And that's an area that we've seen Josh Morton exploit in the past. As a matter of fact, the very first time that we saw Josh Morton in the lineup, both of us were kind of surprised from the rookie and his style of play at how far forward and how adept he was to playing in that spot.
Yeah, and I think it's the first time, I think I'm right in saying, we've seen him on the left. He's done it, certainly done it on the right. He's played at centre back, so he's a good utility player.
Looking for movement as Rasmussen. Dixon couldn't quite win the header, and the referee will now point in favor of the Roughnecks.
Just coming back to the ball, and you know, some people agree with me, some won't. And talking of the Champions League final, and obviously it was a goalkeeping mistake. Somebody tell me, what advantage do we have as fans, or what advantage do goalkeepers have with this ball that moves in the air pop? To me, it's not improved the game of soccer at all. Call me old-fashioned again. You know, the ball that stays in the dead line. Is it more exciting to see on TV? I don't know. I just don't like the ball that moves around. I think goalkeeping's difficult enough, and you know, to have that ball moving in front of you, to me, it doesn't work out. But I'm sure there'll be some who's screaming at me now, saying, "No, it's great. We love it."
Levin settles at midfield, then dumps it into the box. There's really no amount of words that can describe the Bale goal and goal number 1, and whether you want to call that movement off the ball or not, but that is the definition of world-class skill there from Bale earlier today. Roughnecks have to be careful here.
Oh no, that was world class. That's something you only see maybe once or twice in a lifetime, isn't it? That was a fantastic goal. I'm talking about the other goal, which is clearly a goalkeeping mistake.
Yes.
But I don't like the swerving ball, but it's you know, as I've already said, you can call me old-fashioned if you like, and some people will disagree with me and say they love it, but I'm not sure if you're a goalkeeper, it's much fun.
Mirkovic sprays wide, and Morton settles it there in the sun. There's Dixon, who is back.
Yeah, the Roughnecks have had a bit of success, haven't they, down this left? I'll repeat myself that Josh Morton's found himself in an advanced position there. Did get caught out for the goal in the first minute, but since then it's been good attacking play from Morton up that left-hand side with Vukovic.
Not a lot of movement there from the Roughnecks. A throw in from Morton. Bit of standing. Here's Holmesburg, who has Valesky tracking him down. Serta with the touch. Serta has to quickly hop up and now has it. And he might have taken a bit of a ding, and will roll this across the touchline. And that will bring on Kobe Smith to make sure that Fabian is okay.
Well, that could have been a very embarrassing moment for the goalkeeper then. We talked about goalkeepers today. We'll say it again. Here it is. Now he looks in complete control here. Takes the first touch. We know he's good with his feet, but then fair play to Valesky. Shuts him down. Fabian Serta gets up and dives on the ball and then says, hang on a minute, I've injured my leg. Maybe his pride was hurt as well there, but that was nearly an embarrassing moment.
They are working in the area of what looks like the left ankle area. I think he's going to be okay. He gave Kobe Smith a pat. Gives me an opportunity to remind everyone that the USL's official Twitter feed keeps you up to date with the news, live game updates, and highlights from around the league 24/7. Follow @USL on Twitter. Double check and make sure Fabian Serta is okay.
Now he's thrown the ball out, so officially it is an OKC throw-in down near the assistant referee.
That did get Chase Gentry up off the bench, just in case. And now he will take the gloves off, which is an indicator that Serta will be just fine. And the energy will return the favor. Keep an eye on Fabian to see if that ding will maybe affect some of his lateral movement. Doesn't look like that will be the case as of now. Munoz's ball was a tad bit hot, just enough of a touch there from Levin. Cervenia. Cervenia looks comfortable on the ball.
You took the words right out of my mouth. I think he's a very balanced player, and he's added a lot to this to this game, and he's chasing back now as the Roughnecks attack breaks down.
Another one of those incredible academy players from FC Dallas. He is the 21st academy product signed by the club. 19th homegrown player. Completed 1 year at Wake, Dave, and then decided to sign his contract. So in his freshman year at Wake, 3 goals and 11 assists. They're going to play on in the center of the pitch.
Yeah, he's some player, isn't he? Good start to his career. John Perez is working very, very hard up front. He had the assist for the goal, but he's chasing everything down. He's working hard for the cause.
Ball intercepted there from the touchline. Roughnecks have to be fortunate here. Valesky. He's been a pesky one so far here in the first half.
Yeah, he's chasing everything down, isn't he? Including, obviously, the goalkeeper. He's got some speed, and they're looking for him over the top as well.
Boy, Van Okel has had 3 of those so far here in the first half. Not quite sure if it's the sun that is affecting him, as the shadows start to creep deeper here into the depths of One Oak. Mirkovic finds Vukovic. Tackled off of the ball. Dixon forward. Looking for Valesky there, who steps over it. Thought that he had a runner on the backside. He did not, and I think he was expecting Jonathan Brown to fill that spot. And Jonathan was, what, Dave, 5-7 paces to the back there of where Valesky wanted him to be.
Yeah, it was a good idea from Valesky, but Brown had, as you said, moved inside, and a bit of miscommunication, or that could have been a tap in for, or certainly a shot on frame for Brown. Brown's an extremely good player, the man born in Bridgend, Wales. Hasn't seen a lot of the ball on the Oklahoma City Energy left at the moment.
Did you ever decide if you actually called some of the young man's games?
I think I did. He played for Bath City, but before that he played for a team called Hereford United, who sadly lost their league status, and I was there on that day, and I'm pretty sure he played in that game in 2011. Seems a lifetime ago now, Pop, but he's been around a bit, and he's got good experience, and plays alongside another Englishman, which is Ross, who was born in Newcastle, the former Charlotte Independence man. And I thought Brown looked very lively in that game down at Taft Stadium against the Roughnecks on the left there. I thought he gave the Roughnecks a real run around that night, even though it was only 1-0. I thought he had a good game, good player.
That foul was on Callum Ross, who had the winner against Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC. They're, what, in the 82nd minute to stop that 8-game streak.
Yeah, you could feel the relief, couldn't you, when you watched the goal on YouTube. It was a real relief around Taft Stadium.
Look at the Green Country Chevy dealer ball kids here enjoying the action tonight. Olmsberg using that height to his advantage.
Yeah, Vukovic using all his experience there and saying, picking up the ball and pretending it was his throw, but I think the referee and assistant have got that right. It is a OKC ball.
Yeah, Vukovic, who signed on April 24th Obviously, everyone very well aware of his time with the Columbus Crew, but some time as well with the Indy 11. Good ball. Straight to the corner of the 18. Serta has to go up in the air. Valesky was the closest energy player that was there. Some contact as Morton was also there helping out. And the Roughnecks have saved themselves here, but a corner now for the Energy FC.
And that was the first time that Kyle Highland has come up from left back, overlapping. Brilliant ball in with that trusty left foot of his. Took a deflection off a head, and then there was a bit of a clash at the far post, but as you said, results in a Jonathan Brown OKC Energy corner.
Yeah, and Morton was the player that got there on the backside to head that one away from Valesky. Ball from Brown, the header. Whoa. Almost there for Callum Ross. And that would have been 2 weeks in a row as we see it here on the replay.
Yeah, it was almost identical, wasn't it? And he comes and he got a real good head on that with a flailing boot near his nose, but headed it about a yard wide, Callum Ross.
And Ross wishes he might have done a tad bit better with that one.
Now, Jonathan Brown has moved on to this near side to us, the right, the OKC Energy right.
Morton unable to save that.
So that's a switch there, Pop. Alex Dixon's gone on the left, just a switching up of the wings. I like to see that. See if you get any more joy.
They've had the tendency to do that. We've seen that happen several times so far throughout the year. Change of pace. That one's a bit heavy.
Well, it might be coincidental, but it seems to me that Highland has been able to come up from left back a little bit more. Rivas is having to track back with him, so good switch from the coach there.
Yeah, and Rivas tracking back, that's who that deflection came off of, was with Rivas, because Highland was the recipient there from the corner on that cross. Vukovic slotted through Rivas. The defender comes over and cleans that up. That is Cody Andrews, the veteran.
Yeah, he had to get that right as well, didn't he? Or Rivas was right in there.
Header that's just wide, but the flag is up on the far side.
Yeah, great ball in again. John Perez there with a diving header, but up goes the flag. He just went a yard too early. But good signs if you're a Roughnecks fan that the ball coming in there was met by Perez. 35 minutes gone, 1-1. Very even game. A good game to watch as well. Both sides really attacking.
Roughnecks at 65% of the possession so far here in the 36th minute. Roughnecks have almost doubled up as far as the amount of passes completed here in the first half as well. And both of these sides have struggled to score on the season. That was only the 5th league goal for Energy FC from Valesky, and goal number 10 for Tulsa from Rivas. And out of the 10, he has 6.
Good build up there. Jacinho just getting too much on that one. Overhit that one. But yeah, you mentioned the 6 goals. What, 6 out of 10 you said? And, you know, he's so vital. And yet he's a good, we know he can assist well as well. But it's good signs from Perez as well that he, you know, he is the number 9. He is the lone striker. But he is able to assist the others coming in behind him.
Foul at mid. Dixon, so he's holding the back of his head. The referee will come over and have a conversation with Jacinho here.
Well, here's the replay. Jacinho here, to me, all eyes on the ball. Just a little bit late.
Knocked heads.
Coach wasn't too happy, and the referee would just talk to Jacinho. I think this is good referee.
Well, and not only that, I mean, it's important to make sure that Alex Dixon as well, with the concussion problem that we have in this sport,
Yes, we hasten to add, we hope the lad's okay. He is being attended to there down on the turf. But I don't think there's any malicious intent there from Jairzinho. I think all eyes are on the ball there, Pop.
I think both of them.
I think that's quality piece of refereeing. We often criticise referees, and let's compliment him there. For me, for a sensible bit of refereeing, no card needed. But I will say again, I hope this lad's going to be okay. You don't want to see anybody go down. There was definitely a coming together of heads.
You can get a player's perspective on all the action around the USL every Wednesday as the Tampa Bay Rowdies. Jack Blake hosts the Blake Down on the USL YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe and check that out.
Pop, while there's a break in play, just want to congratulate our newest members of the English Premier League, and of course that's Fulham, who overcame the villains today, Aston Villa, 1-0 at Wembley. So congratulations to them. I should have done my stats, but it's been a long time since they were in the Premiership, so congratulations to them in what is billed as the most expensive game of soccer.
125 million.
It's not bad, is it? It's not bad payday. So well done to them. Craven Cottage, one of the famous old grounds there on the banks of the River Thames in London.
At some point, bucket list type stuff here. Would love to take a trip and spend a significant amount of time and go to the variety of different venues.
Yeah,
there in the
Fulham's,
English countryside.
I've actually not been to Craven Cottage myself, but I'm sure there's people watching in who have been, and it's one of those famous old grounds, and it has literally got a cottage in the corner of the ground. It's unbelievable. So well done to them. Congratulations to them.
Dixon, by the way, is up. He is at midfield. He will, what it looks like, asked to check back in. He's going to catch a little sip of water here, and now will be welcomed back out onto the pitch. So good signs there that Alex Dixon evidently was able to pass the trainer's tests. Always keeping an eye on that, as that has not only plagued this sport, but plagued a lot of sports, and Perez is well off.
Well, and I talk about, the football moving in the air and making it worse for goalkeepers, but that's one of the best things for me that happens not just in soccer, but in all, and I'm involved in high school sports, as you know, and that concussion test, that's so important, really is. And well done to, whoever brought that in as a must. It's a really good thing, and well done for Dixon being back on the field.
Foul here in front of the Roughnecks bench.
Now, this will be a card for Jairzinho, but what I don't like there is the players from the Energy going over to the referee insisting on a yellow card. I mean, it's basically two fairly minor fouls, but okay, I get it. Referee's giving them a yellow, but I don't like players of, and I'd say that if it was Roughnecks players as well. I don't like it when players go to the referee and ask for cards.
See immediately Jairzinho's hands go to the air. Unable to escape, though. Interesting area here. Jonathan Brown, 5 yards in from the touchline. Curling ball towards Serta, has it easily. There were two Energy FC players on the run forward. That was Andrews and also Ross. Omsberg fortunate there that was not a foul call as well, and I believe that Rasmussen almost expected one.
I think the lad has a point there. I think that's a foul. And Fabian Serta put Ormsberg in trouble there. And I think he just had a little drag back, or certainly blocked the player off. I think OKC can consider themselves a little bit unlucky there.
That's really the first wayward ball there from Fabian Serta, if you even call that wayward. It was a tad bit heavy there, but for the most part, Serta has been dead on with his service forward, and now believe the referee wants to have a little chat here with Callum Ross.
Yeah, I think Ross was upset with the fact that Ormsberg got away with that, and he's saying no more. I don't want any more dissent.
Elvis Osmanovic, the center this evening.
Jairzinho had to time that one right, and he did. Got there ahead of Brown.
Jairzinho with a lot of work there to make sure that that cross does not get completed. Serta looking for the long ball again. Perez trying to run onto it. Can't get there in enough time. Munoz, however, settles. Has plenty of space. Perez.
Munoz has had a good game for me at the back. Here he is on the ball again.
Ormsberg. Forward for Levin. Levin pulls back now, elects to keep the dribble through the center of the pitch. That's Perez who at the turn. A little bit much on that touch from Perez. Did have a defender draped over the back. Island there with Rasmussen. Mirkovic thought that he had a winner there at midfield.
Yeah, just got tangled up there. Mirkovic, who tries to break up the play, of course, very, very well. There he is. We'll just see it here. Yeah, comes in here. He's already had a yellow card there. He just mistimes that one. There's the foul, and there's him playing the ball. But
2 minutes of stoppage time added. This could be interesting. Perez to the box, maybe just a tad bit too far out with that touch. Got away from him, maybe just a yard or two more, Dave Saunders.
Yeah, he needed a little bit more speed there, didn't he, Mr. Perez? Or he would have been in on the goalkeeper. Good tackle in the end, actually, coming in. Good game, Pop. It's very even, isn't it? The score's about right, to be honest. It's anybody's game. Should be a great second half, this one.
Roughnecks still dominating possession. Rivas to Perez.
What a wonderful move then. Ended up with Ibeagha and Perez on the ground. Perez there just slicing his left-footed shot wide, but a wonderful four-man move, setting that one up, and Perez looks to the skies and think, why didn't I do better? Great end to the half for the Roughnecks.
See if maybe we can get a replay and see that first touch there from Rivas to give Perez the opportunity. Replays tonight brought to you by Harsco and Tankersley Food Service.
There's one touch from Vukovic.
Watch this.
Here's the header down from Rivas. And here's John Perez slicing his shot wide.
And that will do it for the first half. Even at one apiece, and the Roughnecks had to respond from the opening goal by Valesky in the first minute. It was a goal from Joaquin Rivas in the 16th, his 6th goal of the season. And that gives us our score of 1-1 here at half in the Black Gold Derby. Roughnecks looking to stay in contention for the wrench that the two teams play for here as part of the derby. And we will see what changes that Coach Vaudreuil will have for us when we come out of the second half locker room, and whether the energy opt to make changes of their own. But it's been a game that possession-wise has been dominated by the Roughnecks. But overall, I think, Dave, you brought up a great point. You got 62% to 37%. But overall, a pretty even matchup right now between these two.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like that. It feels like the possession should be 50-50 to me. But the Roughnecks have shaded that a little bit more. But I think the result at the moment, the halftime score, is about right, 1-1. I mean, the Roughnecks got off to a terrible start. OKC Energy got off to a fantastic start. But then a good response from Roughnecks gets about to 1-1. Cracking second half, you know, ready for you folks. Don't go away. Don't take your eyes off this one.
Yeah, 3 shots apiece for each team. Shots on target, 2 for OKC and the 1 for the Roughnecks. All right, we will take a timeout. And when we come back, we'll have the halftime show coming up for you next. Here live from One Oak in downtown Tulsa as you see the Roughnecks make their way into the locker room. Second half will be coming along shortly, but first we've got some highlights and some great commentary for you here inside the booth on Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer.
If you ever wondered what 102 appearances for your club looks like documented, there it is in TIFO right there, the Brad Ring.
Oh, and it's a goal. What a strike from Los Dos. Efrain Alvarez has come into the game. 15-year-old strikes it. Now Alvarez with a shot. And what a strike by Alvarez, who now has 6 goals in the last 3 matches.
Now just outside the 18. Strikes it with his right foot. And right on cue. A huge goal.
And finds Langsdorff. He takes the shot and puts it in the back of the net. Langsdorff has a brace in the first half.
Takes hesitation step, and it's the save produced by Eric Dick.
Saved by Crapo.
Put numbers back. Will strike it and put it in the back of the net. Marvin Loria likely seals the 3 points with his first ever goal in USL.
This one comes into the center. There's your goal! The goal! The goal for OKC! The header by Callum Ross. The streak is over, and the Greens have the lead 1-0. The power outage is no more.
Taken and what a save!
Doubles off with Gallagher. Palmed aside by Ranchester.
Slip one into the ball, gets by, and into the back of the net.
Supermercados Morelos has the perfect ingredients for you to enjoy. T-bone steak as well as carne asada and specials every week to have an unforgettable time this season. Only with Supermercados Morelos.
Quality, excellence, passion. To serve you is our mission. Only with Morelos. The
For 100 years, Tulsa has trusted Hillcrest Medical Center. Decades of innovation, inspiration, and passion have positioned Hillcrest as a premier hospital in Tulsa. It takes more than just medicine to save a life. It takes courage, patience, and determination. Thank you for a century of trust and the privilege to serve you. Hillcrest Medical Center, serving Oklahoma for 100 years.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back into Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer here live from downtown Tulsa at One Oak Field. I am Jeremy Poplin, joined by Dave Saunders for the halftime show. And Dave, tied up at 1, a local derby. Tulsa trying to hang on to that wrench. They don't want to let go of it here this evening, but it was a shaky start to this match here for the home side with Valesky. And I feel like maybe our comments, maybe he heard them from down on the field, because we had just mentioned how Valesky, who came over and at one point was responsible for that 2015 championship from the Rochester Rhinos, led that team in scoring 2 years in a row, and had only had 1 goal up until that point coming in here tonight, and that was way back in the early portion of the season, and boy, did he strike in the first minute.
He certainly did, and strikers thrive on goals. He's the lone striker up there, and, you know, it only took him, what, a minute, and first real chance on goal, and he tucks it away. Fantastic start for the visitors. If you're a Roughnecks fan, it was the worst possible start.
You know, the thing about the Roughnecks, too, is how they respond. And it's been a rough go at times, from the Phoenix loss then to FC Wichita. They go down and they find a way to respond, even in San Antonio on the road, and now they respond here. And there's still a ton of game left to play, and at that moment, you're only 1 minute in. But I'm always wondering what the mental aspect is sometimes for teams, and this team has shown a lot of resolve and no quit.
They have. They've shown it all season. You know, it's one of the positives that you can say about this team is they do respond. They will not worry about it if they go down. We said in commentary that, you know, if you concede a minute, the great thing is you've got 89 minutes to respond. But they responded, and they got to half-time with, you know, 1-1.
Let's take a look at some of the highlights here from the first half. And it did not take long for Oklahoma City to get on the board, as we mentioned, as we see both teams walking out. There's the Select Brilliant Super, the new ball that all the teams in USL will be playing with this season. And here we go. And it quickly here, you saw Dixon, and what a change of pace guy that he can be. And there's Valesky.
That's a quality finish. I said in commentary here, you just see Josh Morton's caught up the field there, not being too critical. He's played it left back. Dixon with a very positive run, but what about this? Looks as though he's taking it too far. That's a great finish from a good striker.
Yeah, how about the angle on the diagonal run with the finish to the far side of the net? Here's Serta with 2 big saves. Here's one that's hit directly at him, and on the follow-through from there from behind, he has to get back up and slap that one away. And how about this from Serta to find Perez?
Well, finds Perez, but what about that from Perez? There we are, my friend. Slot that one home, Mr. Rivas. And that is just the best assist, and Rivas goes straight to him. He did well to read this. Cody Andrews just caught a little bit ball watching there. Back heel here, and here's Rivas, and he won't miss that, the man who's got 6 this season.
But how about the awareness of Rivas at that point as well? Watch him on this other angle, because he's here behind, just trailing there. Instead of even going out to help wide, he knows exactly where he's going to be. And Perez, that's just trust in that communication between 2 guys. Wonderful play there from the Roughnecks.
Yeah, this is where Fabian Serta could have been embarrassed there and got a little bit lucky. Goes down with an injury. I wonder whether his pride was hurt a little bit. And we got to half-time, thankfully, at 1-1, and Serta survived that scary moment.
All right, Dave, we had mentioned how we felt like that this was pretty even from both teams. Now, possession-wise, Oklahoma City A little bit lacking from there because the Roughnecks owning the lion's share of it, but for the most part, I feel like that it's been back and forth, and both teams have had a couple of opportunities.
Yeah, I think you'd be a brave person to call the result of this one at the moment, 1-1. You know, I think that's about right. I think the second half, if it's anything like the first, you know, it could be a great finish to this game, but 1-1 I think is about right for both teams.
What do you expect from David Vaudreuil here in the second half? Because you know that Ferrara, who's down from loan, you can expect to see him somewhere in that 70th minute mark, and we've seen that a couple of times so far when he's been back down, and there's a lot of pressure that's on the 17-year-old coming in here to be another goal scorer, but I think that's about the time you can expect to see some changes from the Roughneck side.
Yeah, and there's Eti Tavares who can come on as well in the attacking sense. You know, they'll want to keep it tight at the back, so maybe Francisco Ugarte will come in and play a part, but I think Coach Roger will be in the locker room now saying, come on, guys, you first 11 there, you give us 20 minutes of hard work on a warm night, then we'll make some changes and keep things fresh.
Doesn't get any better than the black gold derby here at Owano Field between Tulsa and OKC. We'll take a timeout and we'll come back with more next here on Tulsa Roughnecks Soccer.
So Power Hours customers talk about their new thermostat.
The fact that you get a free thermostat, it's quite a perk.
Makes your house a smart home because of the Wi-Fi thermostat.
I can get the app on my phone and I can adjust the thermostat as I need it.
Just pull out the phone, you can turn it to what you want it to, and whenever you walk in, the house is nice and cozy.
Right,
and,
exactly.
I mean, I love that feature.
See your program options and sign up today at psoklahoma.com/powerhours.
Osage Casino Hotel is your premier venue for total entertainment. Whether it's date night, game night, guys night, or ladies night out, it's always your night. Make it unforgettable at Osage Casino Hotel in Skytook and Ponca City.
Two bulls were fighting. Bam, hit the truck.
I could feel the barbed wire was just digging into the paint.
Another ding, another scratch. It'll just be another chapter in the story.
Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road.
Get a total value of over $10,700 on this Silverado All-Star when you finance with GM Financial. Chevy drives Oklahoma. Find new roads.
Stuff. When you don't want it, what do you do with it? Go to TulsaRefuse.org. There, you'll learn what to do with stuff you don't know what to do with. Just give us a click. TulsaRefuse.org. It's what you do when you don't know what to do with stuff.
Starting to set on the black gold derby, tied up at 1 between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. Well, Dave Saunders, a couple of your quick thoughts and maybe 3 keys to the second half here for the Roughnecks.
Well, I think from the Roughnecks' point of view, this is an extremely important 45 minutes. I mean, we all know they are without a win. They're going to be desperate to win this game. What they mustn't do is to go completely throwing the kitchen sink at OKC Energy and then be caught by the sucker punch. So, may the best team win.
You see Joaquin Rivas, 6 goals with the goal in the 16th minute here tonight. Quite the impressive player that Joaquin Rivas has been, with most of the pressure coming directly on his shoulders to be the goal scorers for the Roughnecks. Brilliant shot there from our production staff. as we get set for the kickoff here in the second half.
Really important that the Roughnecks get off to a good start here if you're a Roughnecks fan. Of course, if you're an OKC Energy fan, you won't want to concede an early goal in this second half, and you will want to go forward and win it. I don't think either coach will really be happy with a draw from this point. You know, maybe if you'd asked them before the game, perhaps, but everybody wants to win the game. It's 1-1, it's delicately poised, and who knows, the next goal could win it, or we could see a goal fest. We'll see what turns out. I think from OKC Energy, they would have talked about keeping Rivas quiet, and he currently starts this game on this half, on the right-hand side.
Here's Jacinho from the near touchline. Starting to creep his way up a little bit further.
I think you said about keys to this half. Mirkovic and Jacinho are both on yellow cards, and the Roughnecks will not want to go down to 10 men. You did not want to go down to 10 men in a local derby, so we'll see how that one pans out as well.
Jacinho does have an assist. It was on the Picaro goal there. The equalizer in Fresno back on April 18th. Serta easily, no threat there from Valesky at all. Long ball for Perez. Perez has a battle on his hands, has help. Mirkovic waited for that one to come in. Well done there from Chavez to help and step in front of that attempted pass.
Yeah, Perez is a big presence up there, and he holds the ball up extremely well. He was on his own, actually, and then, as you say, it was Mirkovic from his deep midfield role that was the next man into the box. So, well done, Perez, but Mirkovic just not able to do anything with it inside the box.
Keep up to date with all the best social media from around the league as Kelsey Steele hosts Off the Post every Friday through the league's Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram feeds. Both of these teams just looking for that spark, that incentive to turn the season around for both. Sitting here at the bottom of the table in the West, that's Jacinho, who, as you were mentioning, has to be a tad bit careful.
Yeah, again, we'll have a look at it. I mean, Highland's gone down there. I think Cody Andrews is talking to the linesman on this side, but again, I don't know if Jacinho mistimed it there, or the referee again just having a word with him. And as I said, a key to this game will be to stay 11 v 11. And Jacinho's got to be a little bit careful. Here's the replay, just on the left of your shot there, and Jacinho coming in, doesn't make contact with the ball. Got to be so careful in the modern game. Highland's okay.
Highland back for another year with the Energy. Before that, played for Indy 11, 2014 and 15.
He has a very sweet left foot, doesn't he? He clipped a lovely ball over the top for Jonathan Brown to run onto. Trusty player at left back.
Andrews. Not quite enough to reach Dixon. Mirkovic. Vukovic for the ball. Oh, poor first touch there from Vukovic as he received the ball there from Cervenia. Upset with himself.
You could see what he was trying to do, though, couldn't you? He was trying to take that touch to get round the the back and just clip a lovely left-footed ball into the box, but he was frustrated by his own standards.
Roughnecks now showing a bit of pressure. Settled there by Highland. Almost taken away by Mirkovic. Highland now will turn. Still on the dribble. Square, center of the pitch, now out to Dixon. Dixon has options. Steps over to Morton, heading towards the byline. Morton with a tough battle. Good defending there from Morton. A corner now for Energy FC.
Yeah, we know that Alex Dixon is extremely tricky, and that was good defending from Morton. He stuck with him, and that's a good battle. There he is. We know the quality of that young man. So corner to the Energy from Jonathan Brown.
Dixon grew up in the Dynamo Academy. Bay City, Texas native. Played at UNC with the Tar Heels. Played in some reserve games there for the Dynamo. 10 goals. "15 games last year for the Armada, or excuse me, the year prior. This is his second season in OKC. This is better possession-wise for OKC here in the opening moments of the second half. Andrews. Corner of the box, Ross for Dixon. Headed away there and quickly up to the middle third, Vukovic. Rivas looking wide. That one is a bit too high for Jacinho.
Yeah, good idea. Just too high, as you say, but good switch there from the Roughnecks, bringing in Vukovic down that left-hand side.
Highland just able to save that ball to keep it in play. Abiaga. Highland. About 10 yards of space, played it there. Referee will now stop play. We'll have our first sub of the night as well. So here's our first look at Jesus Ferrara. And for Vukovic. Jesus Ferrara from the FC Dallas Academy. At the time of his signing in 2016 was the 16th homegrown signing at the age of 15. He's the first player to have played at every stage in the FC Dallas player development system. His father, El Torito, former MLS MVP. And Jesus himself is coming back from a sports hernia on March 30th. And David Vaudreuil had thought that, maybe that was hampering a bit the first time that we saw him here, but really felt like in that next appearance that those number of minutes that Jesus was on the right side of being fit. Here's Brown. Energy have been on the attack a bit more here in the second half. Brown's corner. The header. And the Roughnecks are fortunate there.
Yeah, Ibiaga there, free header, 7 yards out? Just got underneath it. Fortunately for the Roughnecks' point of view. Here's the corner, wonderful corner from Brown, who really does swing in a good corner.
Watch how high Ibiaga gets up.
Yeah, unmarked as well. but he's disappointed.
3 Roughnecks in the vicinity, and not one goes up to challenge. Some quality time with San Antonio. Did Ibiaga. Here's Jesus Ferrara. Took on 2 defenders out wide now, Perez, and then just hammered out a play for the throw-in in the deep corner for Tulsa. Quickly with the throw-in. Cervania. Rivas. Like the idea on the service from Morton. He did have Ferrara, though, that pointed towards the corner. May have been better suited to play that ball there.
Yeah, it's a good move from the Roughnecks. Good ball in, but rather came off the back of Rivas' head. Good pressure, though, from the 2 defenders there, Andrews and Highland. First real chance we've seen for the Roughnecks in the second half.
Here's Ferrara, showing a tad bit of skill there on the ball. That'll be a foul in favor of the Roughnecks.
Well, he looks an exciting player, doesn't he?
He
Ferrara?
does.
He's come in and with given them another attacking option with Cervania.
You know, the thought behind Cervania is, and this is coming directly from the technical director for FC Dallas. Watch this from Ferrara. Confidence there on the ball. Vallejo, the technical director for FC Dallas, has in a way hinted around that maybe Cervania could be the Kellen Acosta replacement if he opts to leave at some point.
It is great for them both to get minutes, isn't it? And that's what the coach wants from FC Dallas as well. That one's overhit. A little bit of a waste there when you don't get anything on that one because it's overhit. Everybody has to reset. 1-1. Roughnecks definitely playing a 4-2-3-1. You can see the 3 there tucked in behind John Perez.
Gone to a little bit more of a press up top, too.
Yes.
They were trying to limit the options there for the short ball.
Yeah.
A foul back here.
Good refereeing again, Pop. Just allowed the play to progress, seeing if there was anything going. There wasn't, so he brings it back. Substitution for OKC.
This will be Jose Barril, or I apologize. This will be Tomasi on for Brown. Ima Tomasi. The swap with Jonathan Brown.
Yeah, I think that's a straight swap. Winger for winger. So we'll see, you know, we said at half-time if these subs will probably make a difference. It's a warm night and you need fresh legs with the game teetering on the edge like it is at 1-1.
Tomasi was the 11th overall selection in the 2018 MLS Super Draft. 47 matches at Wake, 16 goals, 11 assists. first-generation Adidas player from the Right to Dream Academy in West Africa. Comes to FC Dallas by way of Ghana. A giveaway at midfield. Roughnecks trying to capitalize on it. Mirkovic's ball maybe needed to be played more wide, tad bit direct, and that was easy for the keeper.
Yeah, didn't quite get enough on it to put it out further, as you said, down the Roughnecks left.
Valesky.
There's Muniz again. He's had a steady game for me at the back. It's going to be another substitution, this time for the Roughnecks. And Jairzinho is going to come off, and I think, you know, that's sensible from Coach Fords, because Jairzinho's on a yellow card. He's probably on his last warning as well. And Paris Guy, I think it is, coming in, Pop.
Yep, one of the league leaders in assists with 4 coming into tonight. League leader has 7. Paris with 4.
And Paris is another utility player, isn't he? He'll go in and slot in at right back. We've seen him play in a midfield role. We've seen him play as one of the 3 as well, in behind John Perez. So he's another versatile player, and I like that about the Roughnecks this season. They've got several players they can play in several positions.
Year 2 for Paris in Tulsa. Played in Croatia previously. Native of Canada. He actually scored in that game against San Antonio there in the playoffs. Paris's game has seemed to evolve as well. How about another great service from Fabian Serta? Hit Perez in the back. This will be a corner now for the Roughnecks.
Yeah, corner for the Roughnecks there. Rivas did extremely well, but so did the defender. He was beaten Richard Dixon once, but he got up and threw his leg at that one and conceded the corner. But well done to the defender, well done to Rivas.
Left-footed ball from Joaquin, near post. Morton off of the defender. We'll try it one more time.
Yep, as you were. Rivas will try again, as you say. There he is, waiting by the corner flag for the ball.
Sylvania will show short to try to draw in a couple of more FC or Energy FC players off of Andrews. Now to the opposite side.
Yeah, good pressure from the Roughnecks. 3 corners here in a short space of time. And I like that when players go short there, drawing out 2 defenders. Make the defenders think all the time.
It's Ferrara this time. Caught a piece of Highland. Ferrara hustles back. Cervania to Rivas.
Good tricky play there from Cervania and Ferrara. They're making the defence really work there, but quality defending again keeps the score at 1-1.
Cervania's had a good match here tonight after playing 90 on the road at San Antonio. You can watch to get exclusive video content and photography from across the USL. Make sure you follow the league's official Instagram account at uslsoccer.com.
Well, 26 minutes to go, and we're no further on to see who's going to win this game. It's evenly poised, as we said. It was evenly poised at half-time, and it still is. We're no further on here. Both teams desperately wanting to win this one.
Just now in the 65th, I got a feeling that by the time we get to about 70 mark, Dave, that's really going to have that derby feel with the press towards the end of regulation.
Yeah, you're right. I think we're in for a cracking last 20 minutes, aren't we? Because both teams, as I've just said, will be desperate to win this. You know, a draw, well, you go away thinking, okay, you know, but really, you want to win your local derbies, so both teams are want to go for this, and here are OKC with the next chance, maybe.
Dixon's service. Highland left-footed blasts. Levin steps in front.
Jonathan Levin's had a good game for me. Again, an unsung hero, really breaks up the attacks and always on the move, Jonathan Levin.
I think Jonathan Levin, you're right, he is always on the move, but he also has a natural feel for the game. And he seems to be typically in the right place at the right time.
Just as he was there. May have got away with one as he pushed the player over, but you're right, it's a natural thing, isn't it?
Runner through the box, cuts it back across. Dixon. Well, maybe a wasted opportunity there as Rasmussen was standing there trying to find an opportunity somewhere with the ball at his feet inside the 18.
Yeah, it was an unusual one, wasn't it? You don't often see that with a player taking an absolute age, thinking, what do I do here inside the 18? In the end, it came to nothing.
Here he is one more time. As help. Headed out by Wyatt Omsberg. All the way back over the top of Ebiaga. Andrews. Switching fields from Dixon. There's Levin one more time. Mirkovic. Ferrara unable to keep it in play.
Yeah, Mirkovic just overhitting the pass there. You don't need that at this stage of the game when you're trying to win it. Just overhit it there for Ferrari. Basically kept it in the first time. There he is, the young man. But just the second time, just let it slip over the line. Correct call from the AR.
That possession number has slowly trickled up for OKC. 42% now. At one point, Tulsa had 65% possession.
Yeah, OKC have had the lion's share of possession in the second half, haven't they? But here come the Roughnecks.
Perez to Rivas. Pocket picked by Ross. Long ball from Ross there, looking for Tomasi. Tomasi.
It's a good substitution, isn't it? Bringing on Tomasi, he's given them some real energy down that right-hand side. You could argue that both coaches have made two very, very good substitutions each, haven't they?
There's Munoz who had stab at that one. And another sub now for the visitors. Now it will be Baril coming in for Rasmussen. Baril, the native from Madrid, second season with the Energy FC. Fifth on the team in minutes played last year for OKC. Be a foul on Rivas. Referee, I believe, wants to maybe have a word or two with Rivas. We will see here on the backside. Watch this ball skip through.
Yeah, Rivas, you know, little shove there, and Cody Andrews is okay, thankfully. Referee, I think, is wanting a word with Rivas.
Yeah, he pointed for him to stand off to the side, and Rivas walked away. And
I think he's basically said no more.
Osmanovic says, yeah, we will not have any more of that.
Well, last 20 minutes, what's in store here? 1-1, evenly poised.
Rivas has so much pace when he's on the ball. Over the top, looking for Perez.
Yeah, it was good defending from Ibioga there. Kept his eye on the ball, hooked the ball back over Perez's head.
Tight space, Migrovic, also Cervania. Morton.
Good to see Josh Morton. He's playing as a left back, you know, a long way up the field here as the Roughnecks go for this one, but it's such a tricky thing, isn't it, Pop? Because at 1-1, you know, you're thinking, do we really go for it? We don't want to leave the back door open, so how many men do we risk going forward? It's a real delicate situation now for both coaches.
Morton still looking for somewhere to go, finds Perez, who takes a quick run to the corner of the 18, and now the Roughnecks to the center of the pitch from Mirkovic. Malmsberg. Chip into the area. Long ball driven there. Valesky trying to run onto it. He does get there. Drops it off and leaves it. Oh, poor first touch, because Oklahoma City had a grand opportunity there to Mossy.
Well, first of all, Highland's 50-yard ball was a perfection, piece of perfection. It was right into the path of Valesky there, and in the end, it was just a wasted opportunity from the substitute there. But what a wonderful ball from Highland with that left foot. Roughnecks haven't really had a chance in this second half, Pop, that they would say, you know, a shot on goal or a clear goal-scoring opportunity. They'll be desperate to get one soon.
We have yet to see really Pereski have any effect as a sub yet. Not quite certain if he's touched the ball.
I think you're right.
Baril working from the corner. Highland. It's good defending. Jesus Ferrara. Unlucky though. Morton with the stiff challenge. Rivas as well. Unable to knock that ball away. Finally sent out of play on the far touchline.
Yeah, Roughnecks clearing their lines there, but they need to clear it a little bit with more effect there rather than just give it back to the opposition, who are clearly on top of the possession here and knocking the ball around at will.
Case and Associates is your home for the Roughnecks when they're not on the pitch. You can look to Case for any apartment needs that you might have at caseusa.com. Baril, corner of the 18. Right-footed. Curved over the top of the crossbar. Hand in the air in the 75th minute. Still tied at 1.
Yeah, here's Baril getting it onto his favoured right here. Just taking a touch there, but it was always rising. Paris Guy didn't get any touch on that.
See the Titan Sports. Serta way off of his line. Valesky was somehow able to save it. Just an incredible defensive play. That's Omsberg. Nick of time to keep it out of the back of the net.
Wonderful defending. You perhaps question Fabian Soder's, decision to come out. Maybe he had to do that. I think there's going to be a card here. And, in the end, great defending. And then in the follow-up pop, there were a couple of players we were waiting for the offside flag to go up. But no, there was a couple of opportunities there with a couple of players stood there in white shirts, really with Fabian Soder stood in front of them. So Soder gets a good save on that one.
I thought for certain the flag was going to go up.
Yeah, here's the foul. I think it was Dixon, wasn't it, who got the foul there. He's annoyed.
No, it was Abiaga.
Abiaga, excuse me. So a chance for the Roughnecks to get one on frame here. This is about 25, 26 yards out. It's certainly left of center.
Perez, three-man wall. Rivas is also there. Van Okel. Once that wall is just a step right. Now he has him set and ready to go. Both teams have a sub. Coming up next, it will be Rivas with the fake. Here's Perez, shot directly at, bobbled for a moment. Wyatt Omsberg was there.
Yeah, Omsberg there trying to pick up the scraps there. Keeper double save, did well to get behind it. One of those awkward balls that comes skidding across the early evening dew on the field. But the keeper recovered well to do just what he had to there to keep it at ones.
Well, just as we had mentioned, that 75th minute, since things pick up a bit, Roughnecks trying to make sure that the wrench, the trophy, does not make its way back down the turnpike this evening. Still one more match between these two back here at One Oak in August. And now we will see changes from both sides.
Mirkovic is going to have a rest here. This is brave from the coach. And it's Gamble coming on.
So Michael Gamble now. And for Oklahoma City, Jaime Sia.
And I think Slovenia has gone into that Mirkovic role alongside Jonathan Levin. Gamble will come on to the right of the three in behind John Perez.
Sia comes to OKC from the Charlotte Independents. Drafted by the Rapids in 2017 MLS Super Draft in the 3rd round. 80th minute. Both teams desperate to break the deadlock. Black Gold Derby. Settled by Paris. Not much space. Paris now with Baril. Baril ends up winning that battle. Valesky, who had to wait for it for a second.
That was excellent defending from Josh Morton there. Baril did well to shrug off Paraski's challenge. And then Morton did the same to Valesky.
Gamble.
Yeah, good idea. Just overhit by Gamble. You don't want to be the player to make the mistake, do you? That's what everybody's hoping for themselves here, but obviously desperate for their team to win. 1-1 the score with, what, 10 minutes to go now in this one.
Right-footed cross. Serta easily. Let's see who just checked in. There's Perez. Oh, Gamble got tripped up. That'll be a foul. Highland is not impressed with the call. Roughnecks quickly. Gamble, edge of the 18. Cervania leaves for Gamble. I think maybe Gamble was hoping that ball would find its way through on the backside for Paris. Roughnecks have to be careful here. Tomasi. Line drive ball directly off of the defender. Center of the pitch. There's a foul as well.
Do you know, Pop, all of the substitutes for both sides in this game have had an effect.
Immediate impact.
Yeah, it's been really good coaching tonight. Fascinating from Mr. Vodra and Mr. Cook.
Took
really
Paris
good.
a few minutes to get his first touch, but once he did.
Yeah. But they've all had an effect, and we said it could play a part at half-time because it's a warm night. Chance for OKC here late on.
Baril. Around 35 yards out is Jose Baril. Plays it onto the angle. Turn towards the byline. Good defending and the tackle there from the Roughnecks, and Josh Morton earns a throw in.
Yeah, Morton's had a very good game for me. He recovered, you know, from that first minute goal, and he's done extremely well for the next 82 minutes of this game. Stuck to the task very well.
I'd like to thank you to all of those watching in on ESPN Plus and Cox Your Review Oklahoma, Jeremy Poplin and Dave Saunders. Black Gold Derby from One Oak Field. Far post headed back in, and then the blast. It was well right of frame.
Yeah, Tomasi there just clipping that one wide. Didn't really set himself as he would have liked. Wonderful deep cross, great header back infield, but Tomasi there is just wide of the target.
Which teams are hitting their peak performance in the USL? Well, you can find out every Monday afternoon when USLsoccer.com power rankings are released to see where your team sits after the most recent results. Morton misplayed that one. Oklahoma City quickly to the opposite end, and Almsberg saves the day one more time. That should be a foul in favor of Tulsa, and it is. They're on the far touchline.
Yeah, slightly late challenge there. No malicious intent at all. Almsberg gets up. Roughnecks have a free kick deep in their own territory. Time running out for both sides now. 5.5 of the 90 to go.
Wyatt did have an appearance for Minnesota United earlier this season on March 24th. Played the full 90 in their loss to Red Bull. Rivas. Pereski. Ball, the header. Well, John Perez Perfect position for John Perez. See here on the replay as he walled off the defender, Dave, and was trying to find that opposite post and just couldn't find the right range.
Yeah, they worked it out well here to Paraski. Paraski hits a beautiful cross there from the corner of the box, and there's Perez. Perhaps had more chance to get that on frame. Tried to guide it into that far corner.
Yeah, did a great job of sealing off Dixon, and another errant ball on the goal kick from Vogel. It's 3 or 4 this evening. Has not helped his team out in those scenarios. 87th minute. Both teams now desperate. Ball knocked down by the ref. Rivas now. Rivas will commit the foul.
And get a yellow card for that. That's scored, taking one for the team. Rivas not looking at the referee, but he knows what's coming here.
87th for Joaquin Rivas. Tomasi was off to the races if Joaquin did not commit that foul.
Yeah, here it is. Slides in there. Tomasi says, no, I'm good. I'm going to carry on. And Rivas says, I've no chance of catching you. I'll take one for the team there. It's a yellow card.
Saw Morton come into frame there at the end, but Tomasi had a lot of space in front of him.
Well, Pop, it's a good time to win a game of football, isn't it, right now, with 3 minutes to go. Who's brave enough, or who's going to leave the back door open? Who's going to produce that piece of amazing skill to win this game?
A lot of pressure on both sides to not make that one mistake that could lead to a game winner. That's the tricky thing about moments like this. You try to press, push to get that game winner, and it at times can lead to costly mistakes.
Yeah, it's do you stick or twist, isn't it? Really, it's you know, are you content with the point? I'm sure neither coach will be content with the point, although it's still relatively early on in the season.
Third of the way through. Energy FC quickly to the opposite end, and now a corner in their favor.
Now they've done it in the 80s minutes, haven't they, against Colorado? So will this be a similar thing? Roughnecks need to defend really well here.
Baril will grab a sip. Right-footed ball. It was headed down.
Yeah, it's Cody Andrews at the far post there. Just couldn't head it back in field, headed it down, but wide of the target, and danger averted from the Roughnecks' point of view.
We're just moments away from seeing how much time will be added.
Haven't seen we've had a couple of trainers on the field, haven't we? But
maybe 2 at the
2
most.
minutes, I think you're right.
Holmesburg one more time.
Yeah, good defending. That had to be right there. Keep goal side.
Ross now out wide. 2 minutes of time exactly. Sent into the box there, a turn Well, there's Valesky in between 3 Roughnecks defenders.
Yeah, that was a decent chance. You always get one late on. Ball comes in here. Valesky did well to get it out of his feet, to be honest, here. And then there was a little bit of pressure here from the likes of Levin, who just did enough to put him off and make him hit wide of the target.
Square ball from Sia there for Valesky.
That was a good win by Cody Andrews there.
Sia just trying to find Tomasi on the run. Ross, and that takes away the opportunity for Ross as they have a foul almost in the very deep corner here of ONEOK. Court furniture rental makes the Roughnecks players feel at home when they're not on the pitch. Court furniture rental, there when you need it, gone when you don't. Serta's barking there, Tomasi. Both sides running out of opportunities, and this might do it, and it will. The Black Gold Derby ends in a 1-1 draw here tonight at ONEOK. You see Josh Morton there down on the ground. He looks exhausted from his full 90 here this evening.
Yeah, I think both sets of players have given their all, and I think there's disappointment around everybody, to be honest, Pop, because both sides wanted to win that one. Both sides knew at different stages of the game that they could have won that game. And I think at the end of the day, it's a fair result, I think, on the balance of play, although OKC would say we have more of the possession in the second half. Roughnecks have more of possession in the first. It's all, you know, a little bit sort of flat for everybody, really. It's not the last game of the season by any means. What did you say, a third of the way through? 1-1. You know, and both managers will shake hands and say, well, the wrench, it's still up for grabs in that third game, winner takes all.
See there, Fabian Serta, as the players continue to shake hands with each other. And what is going through that man's mind right now? David Vaudril, as he comes over and shakes the hands of the officials.
I mean, credit both sets of players. They gave it their all on a warm night. Everybody fought for their particular club. I think, you know, you could go through pretty much the whole starting 11s on both teams. Nobody had a bad game. And I think I'll say again, both coaches take a bow, because your substitutions tonight were absolutely spot on. And credit those substitutes, Pop, that came in and affected the game in their different ways.
Well, both teams will leave tonight with 7 points now total on the season through 11 games.
That's a nice moment there. Byers, of course, who was here with Fabian Serta last season, wasn't he? Now with Energy. 2 goalkeepers there.
See Ferrara having a chat with Michael Gamble. And I feel like you have made the best point of the night, and that is from both sides. The substitutions that we did see, the immediate impact that they had, and that is such a key piece to this game. So many times you see subs come on and not have an immediate impact, and that was not the case here this evening.
No, I think, you know, if you look at the OKC substitutions, I was very impressed with Baril that came on. I thought he did well. Tomasi did well. You know, and from the Roughnecks point of view, Gamble made a bit of an impact near the end. And, of course, the aforementioned Ferreira, and I thought he did well when he came on. You know, so they're all good substitutions, but in the end, neither side could force the win.
Well, the Roughnecks now, after this match, will then be headed out on the road at LA Galaxy. That's coming up on June 2nd before they come back here on June 9th to face off against St. Louis FC. Let's take a look at the highlights from this evening tonight here at One Oak in the Black Gold Derby between Tulsa and Oklahoma City. And things started off rather quickly, Dave, in the first half, and it didn't take long. Here's Dixon, and he finds Valesky on the diagonal run, and a pretty solid finish there to the opposite side. And just like that, the Energy were up on top.
Yeah, I think you get a better view from this angle, just how the quality finish here. He takes it wide, but look at that. To finish on the other side of the goal there. Fabian said no chance, and that was, as you say, Pop, a minute gone, and the Roughnecks there were under pressure from the start.
Watch this save from Serta. Quickly has to react to get up to knock that one away, and then just a few moments later, 16th minute, how about this long ball from Serta?
Yeah, Serta's long ball, and Perez, look at the vision for that, and says to my friend, Mr. Rivas, go on, slot that one home for your 6th of the season, and it's back at once. But this was a quality ball from Serta. You know, that's not easy from a goalkeeper to kick it that far, but look at that from Perez. That is quality. You don't teach that. That's just something you can do.
How about that view from our camera crew? One more look at it. Back heel to the back of the post. Goal number 6 on the season for Joaquin Rivas, the leader for the Roughnecks in goals. And to the second half, here's Valesky with Serta out. And this is where Olmsberg saves the day, because Serta was well off of his line on the challenge.
Yeah, Serta on another day wouldn't have come running out there. Felt he had to make the challenge, and thank goodness for the clearance off the line. But OKC kept on coming. That was a very good chance there with no defender around him for Rasmussen, I think that was. And then it was a free kick from Perez here. Keeper spills, but Olmsberg just couldn't get on the end. And that was about as good as it got from an attacking point of view for the Roughnecks in the second half.
Serta with the thumbs up here on the draw of the night, and the wrench will still stay in Tulsa on this evening, as the Roughnecks players will now sign autographs for the fans here in attendance. So it will all come down to the third and final match later on in August. August 8th is the date at 7:30, when the Energy will make their way back down the turnpike for the final game of this series in 2018, and the wrench will be on the line in the Black Gold Derby. Roughnecks, as we mentioned before, on the road next at LA Galaxy on June 2nd. Then they come back home for a match against St. Louis FC. I believe that is Roughneck Kit Night here for the first 1,000 fans on June 9th, before 2 road games at Phoenix and at Orange County, before they settle back in for 2 more home games to close out the month of June. For the Oklahoma City side, who come in tonight and now have 7 points overall, after tonight, they will play at home on June 2nd against Reno 1868, then have 2 road games back-to-back within 3 days of each other at Seattle and at Portland. I want to say thank you to everyone tonight for tuning in. There's the shot of the moon above the city of Tulsa tonight. I want to say thanks to the great shots from the camera crew and to all the production staff as well, and those of you watching us on Cox Your View Oklahoma and ESPN Plus. Dave Saunders, good job, my friend. We'll see you back here in the month of June.
Certainly will. Can't wait for the next one as always. Honors even tonight, but the wrench still up for grabs.
Roughnecks and Oklahoma City Energy FC finish in a draw tonight, 1-1. Have a good night from all of us here in downtown Tulsa.
A ding, another scratch. It'll just be another chapter in the story.
Chevy Silverado, the most dependable, longest-lasting, full-size pickups on the road.
Get a total value of over $10,700 on this Silverado All-Star when you finance with GM Financial. Chevy drives Oklahoma. Find new roads.